Imagine a revolution, a global revolution, a Jewish and religious revolution, about giving, about love. It's happening, led by the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson. It has already inspired and helped millions around the world. But in 1951, when he becomes the 7th leader of the Chabad Hasidic dynasty, the movement was small and defeated, following the atrocities of the Holocaust and the cruel rule of communism. This is the starting point of the Rebbe as he begins executing his revolutionary vision. What are revolutions made of? Revolutions need people, and the Rebbe is the biggest believer in people and their abilities. He encourages them to utilize their full potential and fulfill the Creator's expectations of them.
Not only did the Rebbe transform lives, he transformed people into people who themselves transformed lives. And that, through you, is how he changed the world.
To influence all the Jewish people to the big task. But nevertheless, every Jew has the power to do so, because he is going with the help of the blessing of God Almighty himself.
Well, I promise I'll do my best.
In order to believe in people, you have to meet them, and the Rebbe's small and modest private room becomes a meeting place for society's elite and common folk alike. Those who enter the Rebbe's room feel as though he's been waiting just for them. Hundreds were there before them, dozens will come after, but every person receives a warm welcome as if they're the only ones who have arrived, even when the meetings take place in the late hours of the night.
Rabbi Schneerson is a great man in Israel.
A person that on one hand lives in the world of the Torah, but has got practical sense to the realities of the life everywhere in the world.
The Rebbe symbolizes Ahavat Yisrael.
He always had his gaze fixed on the most important thing.
He's one of the greatest men or the greatest ever man.
This amazing revolution is slowly grabbing hold all over the world. Thousands are devoting themselves to this great idea and dedicating their lives to the Rebbe's vision that no Jew will ever be left alone anywhere in the world. The Rebbe motivates the revolution, but what motivates the Rebbe? And what does Rebbe even mean? The people of Israel are like one large body. Without a head, the body is just a bunch of random limbs. Rabbi, in Hebrew, stands for Rosh B'nai Israel. He's the head of the Jewish people. Just like the head understands the importance of every limb, the Rebbe, the head, is concerned about the fate of every single person. That's his motivation, and that means something else. He doesn't have a single moment to himself. Thousands of people are waiting to meet the Rebbe, a mission that seems impossible. Not for the head of the Jewish people. He's already 84, but every Sunday he stands for 7 or 8 hours at the entrance to his office and allows everyone to meet him without an appointment. For 7 years, non-stop, every week, with no need for connections and without charging a fee. But wait, apparently someone is paying for this meeting. The Rebbe himself. The Rebbe gives each of these thousands of people $1 so they can donate it to whichever charity they choose.
This is my thing. This is the Bruch for knife.
That's the brother to the neighbors.
Rabbi, I love you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your love.
When you think about it, the Rebbe lectured his followers for tens of thousands of hours. He proofread and edited thousands of new interpretations of the Torah, received thousands of letters every day, and he insisted on answering every letter himself. He met with people for personal meetings that lasted all night and visited his father-in-law's holy resting place with piles of letters from all over the world to pray for those who wrote him. How does one do all of this? The truth is, we have no idea. It's not human. Revolutions need an ideological foundation, the Torah, and that is the part that's most dear to the Rebbe, learning Torah. The Rebbe's complete immersion in the Torah is reflected in the thousands of hours of lectures that he gave in all fields relating to Torah, in the many new interpretations he came up with, in his correspondence with the other great Jewish scholars, and the crowning glory, the incomprehensible number of books that the Rebbe had printed. Just imagine, new books with lessons that the Rebbe gave are still being published today. And so, at any given moment, in any place on earth, in Chabad houses around the world, in yeshivas, in educational institutions, the Rebbe's spirit and love of Torah continue to live and breathe.
Don't forget about the enemy rights.
Talking to me.
Thank you. Because you are here only in the minority. Don't be afraid. The Jewish people is a minority.
The revolution led by the Rebbe includes a special innovation, the presence of Jewish women and girls.
You are not changing anything, you are only returning to your real essence, and doing so your own volition, and then it will come to you automatically to progress in all things of Yiddishkeit.
In 1952, the Rebbe founded the organization The Women and Girls of Chabad, one of the first women's organizations in the United States. Following that, the Rebbe encourages the establishment of Jewish women's organizations all over the world. The attitude towards women takes a prominent place in the Rebbe's worldwide revolution.
אני מלכת היופי של ישראל, אני מייצגת את מדינת ישראל, אני מבקשת שתברך אותי באושר ובברכה.
אם איש יראת השם, היא מנצלת את היופי שלו לעליון יופי בתורה ובמצוות.
תודה רבה.
נמסור את זה גם לחברת שלו.
תודה.
לעסקניות ולכל המשתתפים.
And what about now? When you can't physically meet the Rebbe, until the redemption comes, we visit the Rebbe's gravesite, just like the Rebbe himself used to do when he'd visit his father-in-law's gravesite, the former Rebbe of Chabad, with thousands of letters sent to him from all over the world. He stood there for hours, praying, asking for all the people of Israel. The Rebbe's revolution had one specific goal: to rectify the world, to prepare it for the redemption. Every good deed, every mitzvah, brings light into the world and brings it closer to becoming the perfect world it was meant to be, a world of redemption. We could have spoken about the dozens of mailbags that showed up on the Rebbe's desk every day, about the settlements he established in the land of Israel, about the Medal of Honor he received from the U.S. Congress and for his educational efforts across the nation, about Education and Sharing Day signed every year by the U.S. President on the Rebbe's Hebrew birthday, about his connections with the Israeli Defense Forces, about his efforts to strengthen IDF soldiers in the most remote places. But we're not here to summarize, because the Rebbe's vision is still powerfully reverberating, living and captivating hearts around the world. And everyone can join in. Do one good deed, even a small one. Do a mitzvah or set a time to learn Torah and impact your surroundings. The Rebbe's revolution means hope for us all, bringing forth the redemption.